welcome to Women's World. I'm Oinala Sali. A lot of progress has been made towards curbing the prevalence of HIV/AIDS in many African countries, but certain issues still prevail, from the fear of getting tested to the fear of stigmatization. The battle towards eradicating HIV is still an upheaval adventure. Today on the program, we take a look at one woman's campaign to break the silence surrounding HIV in Uganda. We will also bring you up to date with the latest headlines. On Life on Top, we meet a woman whose past experiences have given her the strength to save many lives in Congo. And on Trends, we learn all there is to know about making your kitchen look good. You can send us a tweet at TVC Women's World or get in touch via Facebook at Women's World TVC News. Let's take a look at the issue of the day, living with HIV in Uganda.
In Uganda, it's not every day a celebrity goes around talking about HIV, especially when he or she is diagnosed with it. But this is Barbara, here to challenge social stigma and to educate her neighbors.
Yeah, so I got pregnant. Now it was too much on me. I just couldn't tell anyone. I couldn't tell my dad. And at that same time, I went to a clinic, and that's when I found out I was HIV positive.
26-year-old Barbara is at home with her status. She was diagnosed in 2008. Talking about the virus in Uganda is not just rare, it's not accepted.
As I was walking on the street of Kampala, I saw a group of people gathering. I took advantage of going there to see what is happening. I was touched when I found a pretty lady like Bara. She was preaching about HIV/AIDS. I was touched. But I'm HIV positive, what? I stopped stigma.
Her journey has been a struggle. Barbara's parents separated when she was a baby, so she went to live with her grandmother. At only 6 years old, her uncle sexually abused her repeatedly. When she reached age 11, she got out and moved in with her dad and his new family in Kampala, the country's capital.
So 2003, 2004, basically I was living a very reckless lifestyle, I must say. Yeah, I felt on top of the world. I didn't care what I did. I didn't care who I had. I didn't care about anything. All I cared about was to have as much fun as possible.
According to the Advocate for Youth report, 76% of people living with HIV are in sub-Saharan Africa, and 64% are between the ages of 18 and 30. Out of the number, 71% of infected are women. But just like Mulamula Meli, who is part of the theatre group, the majority of the youth are scared to test for the virus.
When I went for a checkup, they called me in a room. They told me, "What do you think about your life?" I told them I'm HIV positive. They asked, "What? Why do you think like this or like that?" They told me, "You're free from that thing." I couldn't believe it.
And these are the people that Bara is reaching out to. She wears HIV branded shirts and jewelry as she does her street acting, urging people to come out and get tested.
Young she is, beautiful she is, but she's open to each and every one, to the young, to the old, to all the people. She doesn't mind who knows me or who. She doesn't mind about that, but she's just telling people about what happened to her life, about how people behave. She's teaching the youth.
Stigmatization of infected people is alive and well, and Bara was not spared.
So I went to my dad. I told him, you know what, this is what is happening. I'm HIV positive and I'm getting public, and The first question was, did your mother tell you I was your father?
She takes it all in stride. Yoweri Museveni, The Ugandan president presented her the Inspiration Woman of Uganda Award for the year 2012, among others. For now, she is heavily involved in the Zip Up campaign, an initiative that is targeting the youth.
However much I'm positive, I don't accept.
With time, she hopes that more and more young people will start echoing her message.
The youth are the only hope this nation has. Let's not lose them.
HIV stops with me.
Coming up next, find out what's been happening this past week in the world of women. Stay tuned.
Police fired tear gas to disperse a demonstration by female students at Cairo's Al-Azhar University as protests by supporters of ousted President Mohamed Morsi continue at several of the city's universities. Over 100 female protesters who were demonstrating outside university gates were driven back inside the campus by riot police firing tear gas. Demonstrators at Al-Azhar University were seen making the four-fingered sign in support of those killed during the Rabah Square sit-in dispersal in August, in which police killed several hundred demonstrators. The demonstrations are part of a wave of protest by university students around Egypt. Acid victims are pressing the Indian government to do more to prevent chemical attacks on women. They say a new law aimed at restricting the sale of dangerous chemicals is being ignored as highly concentrated acids are still readily and cheaply available in the country for use as household and industrial cleaners. In India, despite campaigns and new laws, acid attacks continue to devastate the lives of many, especially women. Sonali Mukherjee is an acid victim whose simple act of defending herself from harassment from a gang of young men was enough to make the gang plan a life-changing revenge attack. She has now undergone 28 surgical procedures over 10 years.
In my experience, we have to fight on multiple levels. First, the victim has to battle the pain physically, then they are battling mentally, battling emotionally and financially also. The victims who come from poor families, financial challenges are major.
Financially challenge is major.
24-year-old Lakshmi was doused with acid 8 years ago after ignoring repeated overtures from a man more than 25 years her senior. She says Indian law is failing women.
The one who attacked me, what did he get? And what did I get? He got arrested after 4 days of the attack and was bailed out after a month.
And now she says her attacker has married and has a child. After years of campaigning, the Supreme Court in July this year prohibited the sale of acid unless the seller maintains a record of buyers. The law also ordered states to pay acid attack victims $1,400 in compensation. But these women are not impressed with the government's speed at executing the law.
The Supreme Court has given this judgment after 7 years. The government is supposed to execute this. But until now, the policy has not even reached the shops that over-the-counter acid sale should be regulated. They are still asking for time.
Lakshmi volunteers with a campaign group called Stop Acid Attacks, which was started by Alok Dixit after he felt that there was no voice against acid violence. Still in India, the government has opened more women-only banks in order to combat gender discrimination in the country. There are now 7 branches of the Bhartiya Mahila Bank, which is India's first kind of only women bank after its branch opened last month in Mumbai. The bank will be run essentially by women, and there are plans to open 500 branches all over the country by 2017. The Indian government has invested $161 million in the bank and already has 115 employees, mostly women. The bank's board of directors also has 8 women, which is a rare occurrence as most corporate positions in the country are occupied by men. The bank's CEO and chairperson says the next step is to take the women-only bank to India's unbanked areas.
The bank is also very conscious that it needs to be reaching to the deeper pockets, to those unbanked areas and underbanked areas, and as part of the drive it will reach. This is only up to March 2014, the presence happening in the capital cities. Post March 14, it will go to even tier 6 cities, uncharted areas where women have not seen a bank or have not had access to financial services.
She hopes that the bank will finally improve the financial security of women in the country. U.S. car giant General Motors has named Mary Barra, a 33-year-old company veteran, as the company's next chief executive officer. GM said Barra will replace Dan Akerson, who will leave next year because his wife has been diagnosed with advanced cancer. Since February 2011, Barra has held the position of the Senior Vice President for Global Products Development, which many say is the most important job at General Motors. Jessica Cardwell, an auto analyst, said the choice of Barra was unanimous because of her breadth of experience, management and people's skills, and her understanding of GM's operations.
You look at the automotive industry, it's heavily led by car guys. It's a very male-dominated type of industry. So the fact that she was able to rise through the ranks to get to the CEO's chair is very significant.
Barra, who joined GM in 1980, is currently in charge of design, engineering and quality for all of GM's vehicles across the globe and has supervised most of the company's recent new vehicle introductions. She will become the first female to head a global automaker, as women have held top positions in auto marketing, design and engineering, but never made it to the CEO seats.